All right, YouTube, let's do this oil change. We're at that 2,000 mile mark, just a little bit over, and we're gonna switch it out, walk you through the whole simple process. Mine's gonna be a little bit different if you don't got that Fumoto quick drain valve, but I'm gonna walk you through it and show you a link so you can get that for yourself. All right, first thing first, it's gonna be our oil. The issue with the oil, everybody has their own preference. Everyone's gonna say it's wrong. You're always gonna have certain people believing in their own certain fuel types. I usually go by the ratings, right? And depending on what you're running, what your setup is looking like, that's gonna vary. And also depending on what climate you live in. I'm in Michigan, so I'm gonna be running 5W30. Our winters don't even get that cold anymore. So this is gonna be fine for me. Some people in colder climates and some just in general prefer to run the 5W40, which is a little bit heavier. But it's all preference. Some people swear by it. A lot of tuners swear by the modal 5W40, X-Clean or some kind of brand like that. But I'm running E85 in my car, and I want to run something that I could pick up at any store at any time. I don't want to be special ordering it. Around here, you can't really find the modal brand or any of the specific special type of brands, so I'm just gonna stick with Valvoline. If you're running an E85 tune and you're running, it's a 2021 WRX, pretty much the most important ratings we are looking for is gonna be the LSAC GF minimum. You want a 5. That's gonna be our minimum rating. Anything above that's gonna work. We want the API with the SN plus. That's important for us, and the resource conserving. Other brands that also are gonna have these ratings is gonna be Mobile One. That's also readily available at any store. Boom, let's get to the filter. All right, our filter, I highly recommend just running the OEM Subaru filter. You can get the blue or black. If they give you the blue one, don't take it. You want the black one, it's made in Japan. The long story short, the blue ones was when they had a manufacturing issue and just supply issue, so they were giving out those, but you want these black made in Japan Subaru filters, OEM. These are the best bet to go. These are only like 10 bucks or 11 bucks at the Subaru dealership. I just highly recommend you go pick some up personally and probably get like 5 and just keep them in the basement. So getting the whole car up and where the latch is and all that, I'm just gonna run it real quick inside the video. We're gonna speed that up just so you can go through. If you want, you can just skip all that and just get straight to the oil change. So let's get the hood popped. Come over here, there's a latch. We're just gonna pull on it. And the latch under the hood is gonna be just to the right off the center of the emblem. It's gonna be at the bottom. Put your finger down, lift it up. You can kind of see it right there. Put the hood up, picks up. Remember, safety first. So on the inside, we got in first gear. We got our e-brake up. I wanna make sure those are set. So coming down under the car, there's gonna be a couple of jack points you could use. I'm gonna be using this one right here with this lip, this beam right here. Want to make sure that plate is flush. Now it does help to warm up your car just for a couple minutes. You don't want the oil to be hot, but having it warm will help it flow out just a little bit easier and faster. All right, let's get into our engine bay. Here's our oil filter. Here's gonna be our oil cap that we're gonna take off to fill up. As you can see, it says 5W30. Here's our dipstick. And just a real quick setup that you can see on top if you're just curious. Off the top that we can see is just the AIG recirculator, and then we have a flex fuel setup on top. That's all you can see from the top bay. First thing we wanna do is just pop this little oil cap, just so it can breathe as we're letting the oil out at the bottom. It has it easier. And you can just let it rest. You don't need to pull it off. You want to make sure that's still covered. If you're going to pull that off, make sure something's over that so there's no debris getting inside your engine. All right, let's get up under here. Find our Fumoto quick drain valve. It's going to be in between these two arms, whether you have the valve or just a 13 mil bolt. I believe it's 13. It's been a while. It's going to be right here. This is your oil pan. This is a Fumoto quick drain valve. I'm about to link it in there and show you guys. You can get it. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them all online. These things are awesome. Makes oil changes a breeze. All you got to do is, there's a lever right here. You're gonna move that lever up and twist it, and that's gonna let the oil spew out right here. It's a pretty simple device. It's pretty much a valve just to make oil changes. So I just pop it a little bit and then come in here, and there we go. makes oil changes as easy as that. Now when we come over here, this should not be on there that tight. You should be able to unscrew this by hand. My hands are a little oily, but even when it's warm, let's see here, you should be able to undo it by hand, no problem. And when we tighten this back up, it's also gonna be by hand. Do not overdo these. Now that we cracked it loose, you can just unscrew it the rest of the way. I'm gonna let that drain for a sec. All right, we got the filter unpackaged, got the plastic off. Now our important piece of this is to make sure that this gasket right here is filled, or at least oiled up. And then I like to just pre-soak the filter with some fresh oil, make sure that it's not super dry. Caleb, if you could just hold that for me. Take some of that clean oil, I'm gonna put it on that gasket. Just like that. This part definitely helps if you have a kid. So we're gonna pour just a little bit of oil in there. Just like that. And then Caleb, if you want to just move it around a little bit in there so it can absorb all that. And all we're doing is just pre-soaking the material in there so it's not dry when it first goes through the filter. Okay, cool. We're gonna pop this old filter off. Make sure we're clean about it. Now before we pop that new filter on, we want to make sure we clean all this, but be very careful, don't get debris in there. You just want to kind of go around and wipe all that off. I'm going to show you how I do it. Alright, I like to use microfiber. It usually picks up everything and everything sticks to it. So I'll go in here. Now Caleb's going to put on the filter for us. Just set it on there lightly without twisting it yet. Kiddo got it on there. We can tighten it up just lightly, just by hand. You do not want to use any kind of special pliers or anything. Just tighten it up by hand. Should be good to go. All right, as we can see, we're pretty much done draining over here. So we can close our valve back up. All you got to do is just push it back. It'll snap back into place up there, and it's closed. And then we'll take a rag and make sure that right here is all cleaned up so we can see if there's any leaks. We're gonna start with our 5 quart. Boom. So there's our first 5 quart. So these engines take 5.3 quarts with the oil filter changed out. So we're gonna put about 0.3 quarts in here. And we're just gonna see what that does. Just hold it, or you can wipe it off with the rag. And we can close up our cap right here. We're good to go. Alright, so as we can see right here, it's perfectly full at the 5.3. We're right at that fill line, or that dot. Remember, when you pull this out, make sure you wipe it down the first time around. It's not gonna give you a true reading. You wanna go into the second time after that dipstick's completely cleaned off. I know it's common sense, but some people might not know. Just want to put it out there. But as far as an oil change goes on a 21 WRX, that is all she wrote.